Okay. Now message me if you can see us.
Okay, just a new message from Jackie Butler. I see you.
Okay, she sees us.
You see my dance? Good. Or Mrs. Jackie Butler to us. But Jackie Butler.
Okay, yeah, I really suck at this. Okay, so my kids wanted to be introduced. This is Jacob, and he's 6. And this is Kaden. She's my personal assistant. And she's 8. And this is Taylor, and she's 10. So I just wanted to introduce them and tell them to go to my bedroom and to not make any more noises at all.
Another message.
Okay.
After the Ninja Turtle.
Okay. Y'all go to bed. Go to my bed. Watch TV. Okay. I guess I hit the wrong button and like shut the whole thing down, and you can't like start it back up. So hopefully everybody's able to find our link. That's our pig. We have a pig. His name's Hamilton, and he's really, really loud when he's not happy. So hopefully he'll be quiet. Okay. It still says 0 viewers, so I just want to make sure that people are able to get on here. Okay, there it goes. Now it's picking up. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm just sorry. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody who's trying to get on is on. And it says that I'm on, so I'm trying to figure out. Okay, well, we'll just move on, and you know, if they can't find it, then they can watch the recording. My name is Nicole Jason, and I am a purple presenter with Younique. And this is for my team, not only my team, but I invited whoever wanted to come. So I just wanted to tell a little bit about my story with Younique, and not just with Younique, but just dealing with adversity. It's hard to put my story in a nutshell because it's very complex and there's a lot of parts to it. But basically, I'll just kind of give you like the rundown. My husband, I know that, you know, I've been coined as a single mom. I'm raising my children by myself right now. My husband dealt with addiction for several years. And our marriage was ending. He got sober in April of 2011, and God restored our marriage. And shortly after that, he got a call from the U.S. Attorney's Office saying that he was being indicted for something that happened like 8 years prior. And then 2 weeks after that, I was diagnosed with stage 3C breast cancer at the age of 28. And so that was quite a difficult time. I mean, it was definitely some adversity there. And he was sentenced in April of 2013. I went through and I finished treatment. They said I was all good. And to move on, you know, to continue with life. He was sentenced that next April of 2013. He left, and he's in Texarkana, and reported to the federal prison there in August of 2013. And I was re-diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer in November of 2013. So, so 2013 was quite a year for us, and I was very sick in the beginning of my treatment. I still am currently in treatment. I will be in treatment for a very, very long time. And my husband is still currently, incarcerated, and he will probably stay that way. Hopefully, we're hoping that he can get out early, but, we're just not really sure. His release date is in December of 2017. And we're really hoping that and believing that he's going to come home before that. So that's my story in a nutshell. I know there's a lot more like pieces to it. So since April of 2013, I've been raising my kids alone. I've had, help from family here and there, and, a support system here, but more or less it's just me and the kids. And I was working as a loan officer when I was first diagnosed. And once I was diagnosed, it was really hard for me to be able to do that job, because it required a lot of being on the phone and of like face-to-face networking. And I just wasn't able to do that. I was at the cancer center 5 days a week. I'm still there about 2 to 5 times a week. It just depends on the week. And it's a 45-minute drive. I've recently been able to go to one closer on some days when I don't have to see my doctor. But basically, I spend a lot of time in my car and a lot of time at the cancer center. In the beginning, I was really sick. And I have an amazing doctor. And I kind of came out of that like really dark place, being really, really sick in spring of last year. And I don't think I really realized how sick I was until, I don't know, here recently. I didn't really know what we were going to do for income. My husband had been very smart with money, and he had saved. And so I've been living off that savings that was supposed to be something that was going to just be, something that's like extra, that's, going to help us in the months that, weren't so great. And so what was supposed to last a year and a half ended up lasting about 6 months. And so I lost all my hair, and I had radiation on my skull. They found 11 different tumors in my bones. And so I deal with chronic pain in my bones. And so I lost my hair from radiation to my skull, and my eyebrows started thinning out because I was doing radiation and chemotherapy at the same time. And I kept seeing these people post, and it was actually mostly my friends from McKinney, which my sponsor is Marta Miller. And there were several of our mutual friends that have signed up underneath her. And they kept adding me to these groups, and it drove me crazy. I was just like, why are people adding me to groups that I didn't ask to be added to? And I would just like, remove myself and, click that they couldn't add me back. And so one day I was just, scrolling through my feed, and I saw Marta post something, and it looked like it was from an event that she'd invited me to. So I went to the event to kind of check it out. And I saw this mascara, and I thought, gosh, that would be great, because the only thing that I have right now is makeup. And, when you don't have hair, your face is just really the only thing that's there. I mean, there's just not like anything else to really work with. And my eyelashes had really started thinning. And I used to have really pretty long eyelashes, and I am falsely challenged. I can't wear them. A friend tried to put them on like in a salon, and she said they would last a while, and like by the time I got home, one was like hanging like off, and I can't do them. I know several cancer patients that can, but I'm not one of them. So I messaged her, and I think that the message was something along the lines of, okay, I'll bite. What is this mascara? And she explained it to me, and I said, there's no way I'm paying $30 for mascara. no way. That, you know, I'm a drugstore makeup girl. I buy the same eyeshadow and I wear it until it's gone, and then I go buy it again. And so she said, well, why don't you host a party and you can get it for free? So I said, is that going to cost me anything? She said no, and I was like, okay, I'll do that. And so we hosted a party, and sure enough, I hit you know, the mark to get the mascara for free. And the night it came, I'll never forget. I tried it on and I couldn't believe it. I sent her a picture, and I was just shocked. So I posted that same picture. It was the one I'd done and one I not to my party that I'd hosted. And one of my friends, who's also a cancer survivor and who had bought the mascara, reposted that onto her Facebook page. Well, right away, like, she's actually one of my green presenters now. Right away, 4 of her friends asked where they could buy it. And I thought, gosh, if somebody's going to make money off of it, because Marta had like mentioned the opportunity, and I was like, nope, nope, nope. I've done every direct sales, company there is almost. I'm finding that there's a lot more, but I mean, we bought into Miriam the summer before last. I done Plexus, I'd done, you know, oh gosh, Mary Kay. I signed up under Marta for Uppercase Living, and I did not sell one thing. And so I was just like, why are you even asking me about this? You know my history with direct sales. And she's just like, this is different. I was just like, whatever. But the kit kind of piqued my interest, because I was starting to like learn more about makeup. And, you know, when all your kids go to school, you kind of have more time to kind of play with it. And so I thought, well, it's $99 and I get all this makeup. So like, worst case scenario, I'm getting a bunch of products at a discount. And if I don't sell anything, then I don't sell anything. And, you know, I have the products. So I rushed to my computer, I bought in, and I shared the link, and instantly people started buying. I couldn't believe it. And so orders started rolling in, and you know, I spent the next day, it was like crack. As soon as I saw money in an account, I was just like hooked. And so as soon as the next day, I spent the day on the computer. I don't think I moved from the couch except for maybe to eat and go to the bathroom. And we went to church that night, and I got a phone call from my aunt. My mother had what was supposed to be a routine surgery, and I did not go up to the hospital just because of my immune system's compromised with chemo. And she called me and she said, you need to get down here. You know, it's not looking good. They're not sure that she's going to make it through the night. And I had no clue what had happened. I dropped my kids off with my dad. My mom and my dad are divorced, and rushed to the hospital. And I spent the next 5 to 6 days living in the ICU waiting room. She was on life support for 5 days. You know, we weren't sure whether she was going to have brain damage. She had oxygen deprivation in surgery. It was just a very like traumatic experience. I've never, you know, really experienced anything like it. And so you know, I wasn't like posting a bunch, but I was still posting. I had my phone and I brought my laptop, and you know, when you're sitting in a waiting room with nothing to do, I started working. And within, I think it was something like 36 hours, I'd made my money back, the $99. And I was so happy with that. In fact, I didn't even mention it to my husband until I had made that $99 back, because he told me when he left, if I bought into another direct sales company, he was going to ask the person to keep him. And because he'd seen me, you know, start something and not finish it, and over and over again. And so he just didn't want any money going into anything. And so I just like casually mentioned it. I was like, hey, I joined this makeup company, and, you know, and he's like, what? And I was like, but I already made my money back. So I'm like even. And he's like, okay. And the conversation just kind of moved on. Within 5 days, I hit yellow and saw a pay increase. And I couldn't, there was like money in an account. It was like crazy. I could not believe it. I started on April 9th and I hit blue before the end of the month. And I signed several presenters underneath me during that time. And my very first presenter was, and still is, a rock star. She's a purple presenter too. And so I thought that because I was moving so fast that this was, I mean, I was going to be black by summer. I mean, with no issues. I mean, I hit green in 31 days. I hit orange in 45 days. And I mean, I just thought it was that easy. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll hit purple and then we'll hit black and, you know, we'll be rolling in the money and it'll just be, everything will be perfect. And that is just not how things have turned out. And so every day for us is a struggle. Not just financially, but you know, physically for me, it's a struggle. You know, my kids, I know that there's emotional struggles that go on with them. There's emotional struggles that go on with me. But we just keep going. And so I finally hit purple. I had like a kind of a dark period over the summer where I just was very discouraged. And I thought, I don't understand why, you know, it moved so fast before and now it's just going so slow. And, you know, I'm doing all the same things that I was doing before. Why is this not working? And I actually had the opportunity to sneak into an opening for a Unified retreat, and I went to Unified, and God spoke very clearly to me, and He told me, "You are where you're supposed to be." And just getting to meet Derek and Melanie and spend time with them was just amazing. And you know, shortly after that, that was in July. Shortly after that, we had convention, and so there was a lot of things that were like encouraging going on. And so I'd get this like, you know, second wind, and then I would just kind of deflate. And so I finally, like in the fall in September, hit purple. And all of this is happening while I'm going through cancer treatment still. I'm still on chemo. I carry a little fanny pack around every other week, and my chemo is administered over a 5-day period. And, you know, I'm still doing this while taking care of 3 kids by myself. I'm still doing this, you know, while driving to visit my husband in prison, you know, 300 miles away every month. And, you know, I'm still doing this despite what looks like very bleak circumstances. And I just kind of wanted to share with you guys how I do that. And, you know, everybody tells me all the time that I'm an inspiration, and, you know, that they just don't know how I do it. And sometimes I don't really know how I do it. I just kind of keep going. But I have some notes that I wrote down, and so I'm just going to kind of follow those. But so basically, adversity is just a part of life. You know, some people have problems that don't seem very big, but in their world, they are big problems. Before I was diagnosed with cancer, before, you know, I even met my husband, and, you know, we dealt with his addiction issues. You know, my boyfriend breaking up with me was a big issue. My, you know, gaining some weight was a big issue. You know, those are big issues in my life. And so just because my circumstances seem like lifetime movie status doesn't mean that like your adversity is any less than my adversity. It's all the same. And I may quote like junkie, so I have several quotes, and I just warn you now. And I have no clue who said this, but it says, struggles are required in order to survive in life, because in order to stand up, you've got to know what falling down is like. And I wrote a blog yesterday and talking about that, just how, you know, we go through mountains and we go through valleys in life. And, you know, it's just going to happen. You're going to feel defeated in this business. That is direct sales. And that is just life. There are times where things are going to be frustrating. It's not going to work the way you thought it was going to. For me, it seems to never work the way that I thought it was going to, but like somehow God always directs me like where he wants me to go. I mean, if my husband had never left, I would have never joined this company. There's no way he would have ever, you know, been okay with that. And there's no way that I would have even like thought that I needed to. And if I would have, I would have never gone after it like I did. And I'll tell you that the success that I've seen with Younique has really done a number for my self-esteem. You know, it's really, I'd never really seen success like I've seen with Younique, and it just makes me feel good. And I love seeing other women, you know, feel like that. But there's just going to be times that you're not getting charms in the mail, and you're not, you know, your team's not responding on your team page, and you're like, hello, is anybody out there? Or you're just starting and you're not seeing success like you thought you were going to. It's going to happen. And so the worst thing that you can do during that time, and I have a tendency to do this sometimes, so this is how I know, is one of the worst things you can do is isolate yourself. If you isolate yourself from the people around you, you will crawl into a dark place. When I was first diagnosed, that's what I did. I blocked everybody out, and I hid in a hole. And the only people I talked to were the people at the cancer center. Very, very rarely. I put headphones in and I ignored pretty much everybody. And you know, there's a couple that I couldn't ignore, but I just didn't want to talk about it. And you know, I thought I was going to die. I really did. I thought that I was going to die. And I completely isolated myself, and I didn't talk to anybody about it. And I went into a really dark place. And I realized that once I started talking about the way that I was feeling, like out loud, not just, you know, thinking that, you know, I'm not having faith if I think that I'm going to die. You know, that's just, once I told somebody, I'm scared. I feel it. I think I'm going to die. Like it took away the power that, you know, fear had over me. And especially when you find somebody who understands what you're going through. You know, if you're discouraged and you talk to somebody who's been discouraged, and they can, you know, tell you, I'm an external processor. So sometimes I just need to get on the phone and chat and just talk and have somebody listen or, you know, talk back or whatever. But all of a sudden I feel better. I just do. And, so that's one of the worst things that you can do. You want to stay away from isolating yourself. Another thing that I think is really important, this is something that I've just kind of come across after the summer, is I think it's really important to have a vision for what you want, not just with the company, but for your life. There's a difference between goals and a vision. A vision is encases everything. I mean, my vision is going around speaking and helping people, and sharing our story with my husband, and him being home, and us traveling, and, you know, all these different things. My goals for this month don't have much to do with that vision, but they're putting me in the direction of that vision. And have a okay, so vision and goals are different. And there are going to be times where once you have your vision, there's times that you can get, you know, discouraged and face a problem or face something that's in front of you, and it's going to block your vision. You're not going to be able to see that vision. And I think that it's really important. And this is something that, you know, I think is kind of taboo in our industry, is that, you know, you never look back. You're always going forward. And for me, that was really discouraging, because sometimes I wasn't moving very fast, and as fast as I thought I should be. And so I thought, you know, when I went back and I looked at what I had accomplished, that discouragement started to leave. And so I think that, you know, when we get weary and we lose like our vision, we need to look back at the accomplishments that you've made, how far you've come. If you've just started, signing up was a step. It took that step for you to get started. So anywhere that you are in life, I mean, that can apply. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about business or life in general. You know, if you're struggling with something, if you look back and you say, gosh, I remember when I went through this. And, you know, for me, God gets me through those things. And so why would he not help me get through this? You know, and okay, so I have another quote. It says, whenever you find yourself doubting how far you can go, just remember how far you've come and remember everything you have faced and the battles you have won and all the fears you've overcome. And I just think that those are, you know, that's just something that is very important and something that I've just recently started doing, and it makes a world of difference in my daily attitude and my daily life, you know. And so if you're facing issues, you're having problems, vision gives purpose to pain. So if you're going through something painful, like my vision for my life, you know, I'm going through treatment right now. It sucks. I hate it. And, you know, it's not fun. I don't want to do it, but I see the vision and I see the other side of it and I see getting through it. And so there's purpose in going through what I'm going through right now. There's purpose in me, you know, doing those daily things that are just kind of a pain in the rear end, you know, the posting and the contacting and all of that stuff. And my kids are about to get in trouble. And so you just, you know, without a vision, there's just no purpose to your pain, and you start to feel sorry for yourself and you'll start to wallow in it. And so my next point that I think is really important, and I think that this is something that as leaders, we try to avoid altogether. I don't think that sometimes we're very transparent. We make it look really easy, and it's not. I mean, everybody who has hit a leadership level had to struggle to get there. I mean, there's just no way around it. There's always some kind of struggle to get there. And, you know, that goes back to adversity, you know, being a part of life. But, you know, I think that you have to give that struggle a voice. And, you know, I would just like, again, internalize it. I wouldn't talk about it because we're supposed to be positive all the time. Well, I figured out that there's a difference between struggling and being negative. You know, I've started something on my page or on my leadership page or my group, my team. And we haven't been doing it lately, but I just kind of laid it out there and asked them what they were struggling with. And I found that like everybody was struggling with something a little bit different. And like, they were just excited to be able to like say, hey, I'm struggling with this, you know, and it may not be something that you go post on, you know, the presenter page or, you know, something like, or your team page or something like that. Maybe it's something that you take to your sponsor. You know, I called, my sponsor was out of town, so I called her sponsor the other night, and we just had a conversation, and just putting a voice to the way that I was feeling, again, automatically takes away its power, and it just made me feel better. It gave me more motivation. It allowed me to take the way that I was feeling, and, you know, and move forward. And that's not an easy thing to do. You know, we actually have power over our emotions, and sometimes we like to get stuck in our emotions, and you know, we wallow, and it's okay sometimes. I mean, sometimes I have pity parties, and sometimes that's okay. The trick is to not stay there. You know, I know that, you know, we talked about about looking back at your accomplishments, but overall, I love Lewis in, I can't remember, the Meet the Robinsons. They just said, keep moving forward. And I need you to go to my bedroom, please. I don't care. You need to go to my bedroom. Sorry. And so I really like, you know, that it's just to keep moving forward. Where was I? Okay. So anyways, we have power to control our emotions. Like if I am having a bad day and I project that onto my kids, they're going to be having a bad day too. If I go and, you know, chat with, you know, a girlfriend who's had cancer, you know, if I'm having a bad day, if I just want to complain about chemo or just, you know, just talk about how I'm feeling, you know, about something, and I have that conversation, it just takes that power away. It puts me in a good mood, and we just keep moving forward. And I think that a lot of times as women, especially, we let our emotions take over and be, you know, the controlling and deciding factor of how we live our lives. And this is one of my very favorite quotes, and I found it recently. But it's a girl, her name's Havila Cunnington, and she does Bible studies and stuff. But she said, to thrive in difficult circumstances, it requires us to be intentional and focused rather than reactionary and passive. And when I get like discouraged, especially in this business, I get reactionary and passive. You know, I react to people asking me questions. I react to things that are wrong, that's going on. You know, I'm very reactionary, and then I get passive, and I'm just like, I just don't care. I just don't want to do this today. You know, everybody has those days where, you know, they just don't want to do this today. I mean, maybe there's some people that don't, but at least my girls that I talk to have those days every now and then where they just don't, I just don't want to do it today. I don't want to post today. I don't want to get online today. I don't want to talk to the lady at the store. She's going to think I'm crazy. You know, I don't want to hand out Blitz cards. I don't want to do it. And you just get passive, and it kills motivation. And another thing that can kill motivation is comparing yourself to others. And I think that this is kind of hard to it's kind of a hard subject to approach in a direct sales industry because, and my husband and I argue about this because he was in sales before he left. He says that, you know, you need to constantly be looking above you and, you know, wanting what the person above you has because it moves you forward. But I just think that, you know, I mean, comparison is the thief of joy, and just because this person moved this quickly doesn't mean that I'm going to move this quickly. And just because this person signed this many presenters doesn't mean I'm going to sign that many presenters. Now, if I'm not willing to do the work that they're doing, then I can't expect the results that they're expecting. But sometimes you're willing to do that work and you're doing that work and you're still not seeing, you know, what they got. And so I think that this is a relationship business, and, you know, everybody's different. I mean, I went around like looking for like some sort of script. I wanted a script. I want somebody to tell me, you know, how to recruit, how to do this. And I found that this is a relationship business. It's not something that you can, you know, duplicate. It is duplicatable what we do, but, you know, having a relationship with somebody and then signing them as a presenter, helping them become successful, that's a relationship thing. And, you know, when we start comparing ourselves to the people above us, instead of focusing on helping the people that are below us that we've signed up, you can get discouraged really fast. So that's something that I try to focus on. Having a support system is really important, and you know, this should be your sponsor, your elite, your Black presenter. When I first started, I went all the way up to the Black. I had no clue. I was like, what are these colors? What is going on? I just know I need to sign like my first presenter, and she's having issues. So like, I'm just gonna go like up the ladder. There's these 3 people that I friended. And so, you know, I went from my sponsor to her sponsor to her sponsor, who was a Black presenter. And Katie didn't have any issue helping me, Katie Thompson, you know, and they're all a support system for me. Whitney husband has become a support system for me because I reached, you know, she reached out to me, I reached out to her, and we've become friends, you know, just over the course of time. But I know that I have people to go to, you know, when I need to give, you know, my struggles a voice. You know, and even with just dealing with cancer treatment, having a support system is really important. You know, I have friends that I know that I can call if I need to. I'm stubborn sometimes, and I don't really like to do that. But I know that it's there, you know, and sometimes we have to get over that stubbornness and that pride and pick up the phone and call, or, you know, take help when it's offered to us. That's something that I struggle with too. You know, people are really, you know, we've been very blessed this year, this past year. I mean, despite our circumstances, you know, I'm still living on my own with the kids, and, you know, we have everything that we need plus some. And, you know, a lot of that is thanks to complete strangers. And, you know, I don't like the word charity, but that's kind of what it feels like sometimes. And, you know, I realize that it's not charity, it's blessing. And sometimes, you know, God just wants to bless you. People want to bless you. And for you to say no and take that away from them is robbing them of the opportunity to be able to do that. And so we need to, you know, drop our pride sometimes and let people help us. So I think that overall, I've found, at least in my life, that I become defined, and I have become defined by how I deal with adversity. You know, people, that has become how not only I define myself, but how other people define me. You know, I mean, everybody talks about it as being your defining moment. You know, I love Winston Churchill. He said, success is the ability to go from one failure to another without loss of enthusiasm. And we're going to lose enthusiasm sometimes, but, you know, the trick is to get back up and keep going, to get that enthusiasm going again, and to keep going. And then you're going to fall again, and then you're going to get back up, and you're going to keep going. You know, I love you know, I share those little pictures. I have a Pinterest problem. I'll just be the first to, you know, admit it. I do. I have a Pinterest problem. And so when I'm having a rough time, maybe it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and I can't like pick up the phone and call or text or message somebody, I'll get on Pinterest and I'll just start going through quotes, and they motivate me. I mean, I found one, it said, you know, no pressure, no diamonds. And if you don't know how diamonds are made, you know, they're carbon, and it's literally put under such intense pressure and such intense heat that it forms a diamond. And they're just basically, it's charcoal that like handled pressure really well. And so, you know, adversity can be either something that you survive and that you get through, or something that you shine through. And, you know, to me, it's a lot easier to be positive and to shine through it. I have my hard days, and you're going to have your hard days. You know, but the trick is to not park there. Once you park there, and take on like a victim mentality, you know, it's really hard to get out of that. You know, when you lash out at other people, and it's always everybody else's fault, instead of taking responsibility for, you know, for what you're facing, whether it's your fault or not. I mean, I didn't get cancer, you know, because I, you know, ran a red light. I mean, it's not, you know, there are some bad things that happen to us that are not caused by anything that we've done. And those are the things that feel really unfair, you know. My husband being gone, it sucks. It feels really unfair, but he made some really stupid decisions. And so that's, you know, I mean, he has to pay consequences for those decisions. So that happens sometimes. But I just think that, you know, if you can move from problem to problem, and, you know, keep a smile on your face, that it changes the, you know, situation's ability to control your life. You know, cancer is not how I define myself. I mean, it's a huge part of my life, and it will be for quite some time. But the way that I walk through it, you know, is how I define myself. And I have several women on my team that are either survivors or that are going through treatment. You know, and so, you know, there are several other women that are like that, and they get that. You know, for you, it may be something different. But you know, I want people to define me, and I want to define myself by the way that I just keep going, that I don't give up. I keep moving forward. And when I'm having issues, I know how to deal with that adversity. And so I think that's pretty much it. I know that my team, a few of them have expressed to me that they felt discouraged. I felt a little discouraged in December. I mean, sales were crazy in the beginning of the month, and then they just like dropped off a cliff. And you know, it happened to everybody. And you know, it's easy to get down. And again, if you're not talking to anybody about it, nobody can encourage you. But they announced the incentive trip, and let me tell you that incentive trip to Jamaica on that boat is something that anybody can achieve. Literally, like if you started today, you could do it. I earned the Bermuda, except not Bermuda, Canada cruise. And I did that. I started April 9th, and the cutoff was the same as it is for this one. It was, you know, May 31st, and I made it happen. You know, you can make whatever, you know, you believe happen. I said, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get it done. And I did. And so I really encourage you guys to set that as a goal, because it's really something that's achievable for anybody. And it should be something that is giving everybody, you know, new excitement, new motivation to, you know, for this month. I know for me, it's been like, it's made everything just more exciting. And so, you know, everybody is really getting busy. You know, it's the second day of the month, and I can't even, you know, keep up with all the webinars and all the stuff that's coming through. But I just wanted to address, you know, that one thing, and just kind of tell you a little bit about my story, because I know that other than being the girl in the bald girl in the picture that like floats around, and the single mom with stage 4 breast cancer, not many people really know like the full extent of my story and kind of what we go through on a daily basis. So I'm sorry that I suck at webinars and that I can't figure out how to do you know, the Google Hangout. So hopefully now I've figured it out. I know not to push that one button to stop it, because you can't go back and start it again. And so I thank you for watching, and feel free to friend me on Facebook. Feel free to message me anytime. You know, if you have any questions or, you know, need help with anything, especially obviously if you're on my team. So I think that this year is going to be amazing, and I'm really excited. I think that this is going to be a breakthrough year for anybody who wants it, but you have to go get it. So I thank you guys for watching, and Happy New Year.